Well, hello everybody. This is Fibro Jedi and one of the team of the LOTRO family Twitter account. And we do have a Facebook page as well if you want to look it up. That's managed by another person entirely, but please feel free to contribute there. Okay, so this is, if I have remembered correctly, episode 15 of our Warden series. Right, so last time we had a bit of a headache with a whole bunch of orcs and somehow survived aggroing a whole ton of them. So I'm hoping today's is going to be slightly more gentle, but we're going to make the most of the time I have at home without being interrupted, hopefully. So we'll continue the epic. At some point we'll probably have to deviate off from the epic in the Lowlands simply to make sure we've gained enough levels through the region. But as a quick recap, last time we were given, and I didn't use, and I don't know whether I'm going to be brave enough to use them even today, these insta builders for gambit chains. So I have prioritised up here the ones that have shields in them because I am a blue line, i.e. defensive tank kind of warden. Not that I plan on grouping anytime soon, but because I am risk averse, and therefore I will try and work on defense rather than killing things off as quickly as possible. We did, however, manage to get the information Candace wanted from the Orcs, and so we'll be continuing the epic now from that point. Okay, let's pick this up so I can stop warbling. So here we go. As I was returning from the lands to the east, the night sky over Weathertop was lit by bright flashes of white light, akin to lightning, yet no clouds darkened the sky, and of thunder there was no sound. I think that no ordinary storm visited Amon Sul that night, and I ask you search the ruins atop Weathertop to see if there is anything to find, my friend. If you find anything out of the ordinary, return to me immediately. Okay, now normally I'm so well leveled that I can just mount here and go up. Instead, I'm not going to bother mounting until I think I've got enough of a space. So, because otherwise we'll just be caught by, well, for example, these two orcs here. So let's just deal with these and... Oops. The shield didn't happen as quickly as I had hoped. Let's make the most of the fact that we've got this healing gambit there. Because one thing I've been trying to do is get Warcry. Yes, Warcry in. A bit more, because at some point we'll end up with a Warcry gambit chain. Which I don't think we have yet. But as a tank, you can either absorb more or defend yourself against more damage, or you can try and evade damage while still keeping the aggro away from allies, for example. So, Warcry gives you an evade buff, and in fact, if I remember correctly, part of this, is it at this point? Here, yeah, so the Warcry Gambit increases evade rating. Currently 3 out of 5 levels for this. Excuse my sniffing. I'm going back to the doctor soon because I've had this cold for about 5 months. Right, so... Yes, so if you can avoid damage, then there's less work, particularly if you're in a group, less work for your healers to have to do, and in fact less work that you have to do to heal your own stuff as well. Now then, can I get up this way? I have been known to get lost getting up Weathertop. 13 characters in. I've managed it this time. Okay, I very rarely go down the same way as I came up. Now then, up here is what we're looking for the epic, but here is one of the places where there's nearly always a good number of crabine, I think you pronounce them, like Dunedain, crabine, up here, just asking to be killed to honour the free peoples, which is of course all they care about. So, on my personal time on my Warden, I've been trying to remember to do the powerful... I can't do it right now because I've still got a Gambit panel active. But if you use a spear, a shield, and then a taunt, you get this huge power attack here, which is really damaging. So if you need to get a lot of damage in very quickly, then that is a good way to go. As satisfying as it is to not go all the way there and just stamp on the beasts. Perfectly acceptable, of course. So on against more, foes have more health, I'll keep trying to do the Warcry Gambit Chain, but also, what's the actual official name? The Shield Bash Taunt. Let's remind me of that, because I know how to do it, I just can't remember what it's called. It is Determination. It's the Impressive Flourish Gambit Chain, and it's just shield taunt, shield taunt, shield taunt. But something to remind myself: is there not one the opposite way? Yes, there is. We've got the start of. Oh, I didn't realise that. Okay, so we've gained. To anyone joining new to this series, I tend to either remind myself of things or learn about them while I'm recording. This is not a, I know all this stuff, please learn from me. This is a let's learn together. So, we do have the second stage of the Warcry Gambit Chain, which is actually Surety of Death. So it's the opposite way round. So when you're doing the Impressive Flourish Gambit Chain, which improves defense and mitigations, as well as dealing damage over time, it's shield taunt, shield taunt, shield, for example, to go all through all the stages. The Warcry Gambit Chain is the opposite, so, and that's taunt, shield, but we haven't got the last taunt stage in there. And what that does is, it seems to be mostly about improving your evade rating. So Warcry on its own is plus 227 evade. Surety of Death is plus 333 evade and does deal with some light damage. But when you're going through this Impressive Flourish, it improves your defense as well as your mitigations, but not your evade. And stage 1 does more damage. So it seems like Warcry is more about improving your evasion than doing more damage over time. Critical defense. Yeah, the Impressive Flourish one seems to be more about what damage you do straight off, with a bit of damage after that. And it's only when you get to Conviction here you get extra critical defense. You get some critical defense, but it really builds up there to 333, and a bit of tactical mitigation. So if you want to do... I don't know actually. I'm going to have to research that, because I'm not sure what the benefit of doing one over the other one is. Just thinking out loud. Might just be one of those... do whatever you're most comfortable with when you're in a combat scenario, which is not a bad piece of advice anyway, because you don't want to overburden yourself. That being said, I'm recording this, therefore I will be overburdening myself, which I did very successfully with Orcs last time around. Right, now then, of course I can't remember exactly which door I came out of, so I'll be making up the route down. I'll be making up the route down. Yeah, go figure. And we'll probably end up going down a completely different route, because I'm recording and I do things like that. Oh look, we're going down a completely different route. It doesn't matter, right, but we can, for a while at least, mount. Okie day. So we'll get back down to Candaith. soon as the path lets me. So anyone who's new to the Warden series, this character also features in my fanfiction. She's in for only a few episodes at the moment, but will come back later, because story reasons. Ha ha ha. I'm finally putting together the long plot for the sort of the bigger picture plot for my fanfiction. Stage 1 is Kathir's, for want of a better word, pilgrimage. Can we go down this way, or does that take us back up? I'm trying to find a quicker... Oh, stuff it. We'll just take the route down that I thought I was doing, and then we'll make our way back. Yeah. Pilgrimage to Rivendell. But that is effectively only the start of the story. Book 1. I don't know how many episodes it's going to take me. But yes, this very happy, generally very happy, Hobbit Warden features in that. And I'm not doing much off. I'm just dismounting because I could get forcibly dismounted. So I'm not doing much off video except practice, and I am trying to remember now not to accidentally level this character off video either, so that everything and any new abilities that come in we are catching while recording. So yeah, in the Lowlands here, I keep going for these because, apart from the fact I'm not really testing my gambits by doing that, but it enables me to talk without worrying, is that the Kraben are mostly spread over the whole of the region. There are a couple of places... Weathertop is one where you can find a good number of them. Another good place is about here, where there's also a bunch of wargs. And both the Crabine and the wargs respawn pretty quickly. Aside from that, a lot of the Crabine are just sort of in the countryside around here, I think. And so you almost have to kill them little by little. But if you do want some high concentration, Weathertop has only a small number, but they respawn really quickly. And the same with the really angry wargs. There are different design. There are a different strain of warg down there just before you hit Harloweg. Okay. We found your stone. Well, not your stone.
Greetings.
Ah, you have found something. Let me see this rock rubbing you have made. The runes are common, but I do not know what they signify. I'm afraid this does not tell me much of the lightning Lamuna, but it tells me something of the source. Likely the same person responsible for sending you to me. So, oh yay.
What do you need?
Cool. Lamuna, I have news of Radagast, but I must ask you once more again for assistance here. The letter you recovered from Bleakgrift speaks of the Orcs' true goals, taking control of Amon Sul. Orc forces are to move towards the crest of Amon Sul under cover of night, and will move in a large group, establishing small units along the path from that larger force. We cannot stand against the force when they are assembled, but we can once they are splintered. They wish to establish a base that will allow them advantage over the entirety of the Lowlands. Pardon me. Yes, because Amon Sul was used as a watchtower originally, or something of the sort, to guard the Lowlands, so they're going to use it as the opposite. We must foil their plans. Return to me when you're ready. Together we shall scale Amon Sul and defeat Rigol, their leader, before he can carry out his master's will. Cool, let's retake Weathertop.
How can I be of service?
Let's do this thing.
Weathertop, once a watchtower of the Dunedain, now a refuge for orcs. Candaith the Ranger strives to break their foothold in the Weatherhills.
So this instance is the best time if you want to grab if you want to grab some rather moody shots of being on Weathertop. This is the instance to do it in. Not from here. Do it further up once we've cleared away some of the foes. Okay.
Greetings.
We must make haste, Lamuna. We have the leaders of the Uruk-hai cornered like rats upon the slopes of Weathertop. If we can defeat them, we may yet break the will of this warband and drive them whimpering to their masters in the south. Be prepared for anything. Protect Candaith. Come on, you're a Dunedain. I'm a small hobbit. Their leaders have all gathered on the hill. We must make haste, but first I'm going to give you a speech. Right. Is he just punching goblins? He's not wielding his sword, he's just punching the goblins. Oh well. Oh, do you know what I've not done? I am still not earning XP for any of this. Oops. Let's pop that back in. We do want to be earning XP on video. As fun as it is taking out enemies over level, that will reach a point where it's no longer possible, so... I have clearly not been practicing my gambits on this. Right. This torch may prove useful. Take up the torch. Perhaps we can light a fire to draw the goblins' attention. Yes, so I sometimes forget this. Use the torch on the wood, we may draw attention and split their forces. It's a torch! The description is, this is a torch. Sometimes the simplest things are the most fun. We're under attack! And now I can't run fast enough to defend Candaith. Oh! Oh, they interrupted my concentration. Now I've lost my gambit chain. What was his final words? Stop gawking and start fighting. The road diverges ahead. We will need to split up. Remember the torches. Light the bonfires. This may help. We need to be swift. These orcs must be driven out of the lowlands. We cannot fail here. Remember, we must defeat the leaders of this warband if we are to discourage them. Use the torches you find on the unlit pyres along the path. They may draw attention of nearby orcs. So we need to defeat Bubhosh and defeat Muzz the Warg Keeper. You take the high road and I'll take the low road. Oh wait, no. You take that road, I'll take this one. If you come across Bubhosh or Muzz, defeat them. Now then, so... depending on how brave or not that you're feeling, you can... at one point you have to light those fires. You absolutely have to. But... you could try and be brave or foolish, depending on your perspective on the whole thing. I'm going to light the fires, because it's been a long few days, so let's take whatever advantage we can get. There's the wood. Use your eyes, FJ. Right. I'm going to take the Bowmaster out first, because I don't like having that. I'm going to go for some defense in there like that, and then let's try and do the war cry. Evade. I got distracted by the fact that I had poison, and now I've got a light wound in its place. The Warden's Cleanse facility ability has a very, very quick cooldown, so it's much quicker than the Guardian one. Much quicker. Right. Take from you. I'll take health from you. There we go. We are on level with mobs here, but there are 3 of them, so losing a bit of health actually doesn't seem that unreasonable. Right, I want to do evade here, so let's do war cry, which is that way, that, and then we get the next one in there. So I actually took out more health doing that than doing the other gambit chain, which is interesting. Right. No, I actually want to do a heal gambit now. Let's go for the one that I'm more comfortable with. So actually I lose less health when I do the impressive flourish gambit chain along with the drains than when I do the war cry gambit, which maybe as a solo tank warden is better, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, we got 5 LOTRO points because I completed the first stage of the Orc Slayer deed. When it comes to the Orc Slayer deed in the lowlands, it's probably one of the first, if not the first, that you'll clear. Goblins come fairly quickly after that. You don't have to try to do Orc Slayer and Goblin Slayer if you follow all the individual quest lines. I should really have lit a fire already, shouldn't I? Then you'll come across enough camps of those things to have to clear them anyway, so thinking of the deeds when you do them in the lowlands. If you decide to be quite completionist in terms of the number of quests you do in the lowlands, then you don't have to worry about those two Slayer deeds at all. Get your brain in gear, FJ, my life. Right, so we shall carry on. We haven't had an option to be diverting from the path yet. But we can draw away at least one of those camps. So let's grab the torch. Okay, took out one of them. Stamping on their heads while satisfying is not the most damaging ability I have. Right, okay, now then, let's do one of these at a time. There's no reason, as this is a private instance, to not... Oh, have I not got an interrupt build? Maybe not. I am getting my fingers tied, however. Right. Am I getting heals? Yes. Here's our first boss. Now this time I'm going to drain you of health. I'm going to add health here, and then I'm actually going to try and avoid stuff a little bit. I'm getting a little bit out of, and there's the big hit I was talking about earlier. Definitely came off better than him, so that's Bub Hosh. Warg Keeper is next, and is he... I think you have to come down here for the Warg Keeper. Although now I've done that, I think I'm wrong. That being said, I need a torch, because this is one way you have to use the torch, because the gate won't open if you don't have one. So we need to run back here. Thankfully they burn for quite a while, because you don't think you can get through that without said torch. Here we go. then we shall wait to be attacked. Oh yay, sappers. Or at least a sapper. Can we get him to drop it? Yes, we can. Good, good. So I used my spear there to make the sapper drop his flaming gourd thingy before he got to me. White hand, warg keeper, and oh look, a warg. Right, this is where we might end up with some injuries, as I was saying. Oh, I did the first stage of that, well I did the second stage of the impressive flourish gambit chain, forgetting to do the first one. And the descriptions explicitly say this ability is more powerful when combined with the first stage because it's a chain, so I don't know what you... It seems pretty obvious when you say it out loud. Right, I'm just trying to split this group up a little bit. Oh no, didn't manage it. Wow, got one of them away. Oh look, I attracted attention. This is what I did accidentally with the orcs, wasn't it? So, in this instance, let's do it. We need to do is drain, get some heals on, cleanse that. Just take him out with the throwing your spear. Oh, that's another fire. I didn't spot that was a... Drat. I didn't spot that that was a sapper. Or fire thrower. Now then. Mr. Warg Keeper. I don't particularly have to take out all these. Thought it like warg for sale. But our warg keeper is just here. I keep doing that ability and I'm not sure what I'm doing. We can redress that later. So we now have Muzz and his warg. Oh, let's take out the extra warg here first, because what I want to do is take out the warg keeper before the warg. I've never actually experimented with that to work out if it's whether he can heal said warg, but I'd rather not, you know, risk that, because why take unnecessary risks? It would make sense. You can definitely heal something. Right, now we've got the warg keeper. My unstun is not as quick. Right. Took slightly more damage than I was hoping there. What we got here? Deed bestowed. Oh, Warg Slayer. Yeah, fair enough. Wargs are also rather annoying in the Lonelands, because there is a patch of them. That's the dwarf area, I think, here. And I was talking about the Goblin Slayer here. And there are some here intermingled with wolves in Minas Tirith. Random information. Right. I'm not feeling particularly slick in my presentation today. But we're making progress, and that's really what matters. I'm not a professional, I'm just part of the community trying to be helpful to folks. And because I really, really want to play my Warden. I'll gut you, Hobbit! I don't think you will. I want to do the recording, so I get to play. Okay, so we've nearly made it. Get the goblins and we'll take out this dark. Oh wait. Too slow. Now then, what I'm going to do... I can't use that until level 25. Because we're nearly at the actual boss of this instance. Going to have some munchies. Now then, with this one, when you get up into the top, I have ended up with the encounter being reset, which in this one is you really don't want to know. You don't want to happen. So you've got to make sure you stay fairly close to the centre. You have done well, Lamuna, better than I, it appears. Uruk-hai and Orcs nearly bested me and my wounds run deep. But you must not concern yourself with me now. Beyond that gate is the Uruk who leads this force. Pass through the gate and defeat him. We cannot allow these Orcs to have a hold in the north. It appears my injuries are worse than I feared, friend. I will open the gate and hold the rear guard. I will remain here to stop the enemy should they decide to flee, and turn you around should you decide to try and run away. Right. Be prepared for anything. Right, here we go, because this is not a simple, straightforward thingy. Where is... he's coming soon. So we now need to survive this particular encounter. Preferably before the troll arrives. Which we have just... Oh, no, I want to do drains on you because I have... And then I will do heals. And I will put in defense. There we go. So, although I could have gone for damage, I built up everything there, and... There we go. That was fairly painless. Now what I did there was, just to show my pure risk aversion, is I first added in the something strike, deft strike. Where is it called? Nope. Was it not Death Strike? Let's do... Get down to the... Warden Gambits. I'd like to use the correct terminology, which is why I'm... Oh, basic gambits. That's a gambit builder. Quick recovery. Oh. I can't find the name, which is even more annoying. But basically what I call the draining, so it takes health from you. Oh, it's in the gambits here, that's why I'm being silly. Right. So, it is a spear plus a taunt, which I think might be in... Not assailment, the other in recklessness. Spear plus a taunt, offensive strike. There we go. So I did that one first, where it takes health from your opponent and adds it to you. I then did use my what I call my self heal at the moment, which is the shield plus the spear, which is persevere, which is a heal over time. And then I did Warcry, which improves your evade rating. So I went purely, because it was such a big boss, I went purely defensive, effectively, for that, by draining them, adding as much health to me as possible, some from him, some from me, and then try to avoid any future damage, which against the number of people we had there was not actually that bad an approach. So, I mean, you choose your own. Obviously, because I'm blue line warden here, you might make completely different choices in recklessness or assailment, for example. My wounds are grievous, but I shall recover. We shall return to my camp. Yes, we shall. And there we go.
How can I be of service?
Do not concern yourself with the orcs that remain. This far removed from the Southlands, they will dwindle and become only a small danger to travellers through the Lonelands. We have won a pivotal battle, my friend. You have earned some rest, I think, for the great threat posed by these orcs is now finished. Now, let me aid you in your endeavour to find Radagast the Brown. So, I shouldn't actually need many of these upgrades. No. So what I usually do in this instance is just go for which gives me the most coin. Unless, I might keep that hat for just for fun.
Greetings.
There we go. So, now then, what I'm going to do at this point is put it between episodes. So I'll stop this one, get a brew, and we'll record the next one, because we'll get to carry on with the story. This has been about 35-ish minutes, maybe 40 by the time I got my head in gear. So we didn't level in that one, but we did take out quite a few bits and pieces on the way up, and I prefer these to be in bite-sized episodes rather than me give you an hour and a half in one go. So I will call this one there. I will get a brew and we'll be back for episode 16. If this is your first one, thank you for joining, and if you've been watching them all up, I really appreciate it as well. So look after yourself, and I will see you around for episode 16. Take care then. Bye.